We are back in public session. First item on tonight's agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Scott, will you do this tonight?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is the non-public and public minutes of October 12th and 9th, October 5, October 12th, and October 19th.
I make a motion to accept the public and non-public minute meetings of October 5, 12, and 19, 2023.
Is there a second?
I'd like a second.
Second by Scott. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstentions, that is 4-0.
I would now make a motion to seal the non-public minutes from the session of October 26, 2023, indefinitely, because it may affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board or render a proposed action ineffective.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Scott. That is non-negotiable, non-discussable. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, that is 4-0. Consent agenda.
I can't find it. Oh, it's in there, but I'll post it up here for you, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for October 26, 2023. Accounts payable payment manifest dated 10/19/23. Accounts payable payment manifest dated 10/26/23. Payroll payment manifest dated 10/12/23. Payroll payment manifest dated 10/26/23. Distribution of funds from the Highway Equipment Capital Reserve Fund in the amount of $67,627. Acceptance of unanticipated revenues for the damage to the fire department building in the amount of $4,493.10.
Is there a second?
Sorry.
Second by Les. Any item anybody wants to discuss individually? Hearing none. All those in favor of the consent agenda as read, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, that is 4-0. Thank you. Next item is the introduction of our new librarian, Tricia Haywood. Please join us. Where is your cheering section?
I don't think we knew about it.
Oh, well, no, we talked about it last week.
Summer on vacation.
Yeah. So we did get a quick chance to talk to you regarding the budget, but on happier note, non-budgetary notes, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Very pleased to have you here in town.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, great. And because folks may be watching or will be watching in the future, can you, because we were in the work session last week, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and
Sure.
how you got here?
Yes. I've been a librarian for about 4 years. I'm just finishing up my MLIS degree. I have 5 weeks left. I've been a reference librarian, I've been an assistant director, and now I'm a director. I grew up in Massachusetts. I've lived in Florida for 19 years. I'm happily married with 2 kids that are grown, one of whom moved to New Hampshire with us. So we moved back to New England in December and we upgraded to New Hampshire. And so far, I absolutely love it here. I love the community of Bristol. We've had so many great patrons and townspeople all come in and visit. I'm finishing my 4th week now. And it's been an amazing experience so far.
Awesome. I'm sure you got the rundown of the library, right? The history of it.
Yeah, I've got some of
And
it.
that amazing new space.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I'm really loving that library. It's beautiful. The old building and the new space.
Yeah. Great. Have you met Barbara yet? Barbara
No.
Greenwood? Oh, she was
Maybe,
kind of the
possibly.
driving force.
I have, yes.
Yes.
You know what? I've probably met 500 people in 4 weeks.
Well, that's good.
So
Yeah.
I recognize more by face almost
Yeah.
than by name right
Yeah.
now.
Well, she's a force.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did meet her. She
Yeah.
did come in, so
Great.
that's great.
Did you say you lived in Bristol?
No, I live in Tamworth, Tamworth
right,
Village.
yes.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's right, you have a little community, you got a new car, so yes.
Yeah, I love Tamworth Village too.
Yeah,
So
it's my spot.
it's a far drive,
Scenic drive.
but it's a
very
beautiful
scenic.
drive, and it's time to myself every day.
Right. It's not too far of a drive for New Hampshire people.
Right.
No.
Or for people that lived in Florida and drove
right,
their
good
son to
point.
college back and forth,
Oh, yeah.
7-hour round trip. Yeah, it's fine.
Traffic.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
nice, we don't usually see people coming from Florida to here.
Yeah, it's the other way
usually the other
around.
way around. People leave here.
I couldn't wait to get here, so eventually I dragged my husband out of Florida, and here we are.
Good for you.
Hmm.
Good for you. It is, you say that, but it is interesting. I've had several new clients over the years who are retiring north.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is it is kind of interesting.
Mhm.
A lot will go south and then end up back in,
Yeah.
back north.
Yeah.
When they realize their mistake.
Yes.
So things are going. You said things are going well. That's awesome. Do you have kind of a vision of what you want your position in that library to be?
Yes, I'm really excited to start doing more programming and outreach. We've started already. I've started booking some things for spring and summer programming that I can get humanities grants for. Author talks that are free. We've done some family crafts already. We changed a little bit of things around, and we did a really great pumpkin painting craft yesterday that was for families, and we had teenagers, we had children, we had grandparents. I really am excited to get the library even more community-based and family-based and getting everyone in there. We're planning a real fun one for next month too. I don't want to give away too much.
That's fine. That's fine. Can appreciate that.
Yep.
I'm really excited about the energy, and looking forward to seeing a lot of great things.
We have a great staff, so
I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, very good. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you stay here all day or did you come back?
No, I've been here all day.
Yeah.
I've been here all day.
We will let you go and have a good
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you very much.
Nice to
Thank
see you
you.
again.
Pleased to see you.
You too.
Yes, we are very excited to have her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good things in store.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you for
Have a safe
sticking
ride
around.
home.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank
You
you.
too.
too.
HDOT project update.
I left that for you, if
Okay.
that's okay.
So, as we discussed at the end of the meeting last time, we had received a request to have a phone call via Bill Dowie from who's our representative to the Transportation Advisory Committee to LRPC, that DOT wanted to have a phone call about the two projects that are on the 10-year plan to update the highways of Route 104 and Route 38. So I participated in the phone call with Town Administrator Bill Dowie, and it turns out it was actually a call from an engineering firm who was looking to become the firm that's hired by DOT to do the final design for those two projects. He was just looking for some basic information from us to make sure that he that he could put together a proposal properly. The good news in that phone call that he said that we haven't you have verified? We haven't verified for sure that the budget now, as proposed by DOT, has gone up significantly from our last conversation about 6 months ago, when they said they couldn't afford to do both these plans. So it's raised up to 7.2 million, I believe, which is, we're hoping enough to cover doing both of the plans in their entirety. And for the folks on the camera, those two plans were upgrading the road from O'Reilly's Auto Parts out to the Millstream Park, widening the road, fixing the sidewalks, making a bike path, and improving the drainage and fixing a bunch of those low drains. The other project is from School Street out to Rite Aid, widening the road, fixing the sidewalk, adding a sidewalk from Merrimack Street all the way out to at least Rite Aid and maybe farther. So those two projects were intertwined with the sewer project, which, as we know, has been changed, so that has pushed it back a little bit. The good news is, if we can verify that, it looks like they pushed more money towards it, and we may be able to actually get both of these done.
I think there's still some discussion about there may be some cuts, but not as much as we originally thought.
Yeah, right.
So,
Right. So in essence, we're looking at, according to this gentleman, they're looking at hiring the design engineer for the final design by next summer. Hiring them by next summer, not having the design done.
Right.
We're still out a ways.
Several years.
Yeah.
That's great news.
It's good
Good
news.
information.
we did also talk to them about the potential of the homes that were in the Lake Street project. And they said the federal government won't even fund a purchase of houses until preliminary design is complete.
Okay.
So, we didn't
That's
even
2
get
years
there.
from now.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Any other comments or information regarding the DOT project update?
No, that was good news.
Okay.
Better news.
Yep, great. Highway Department, proposed shed replacement and proposed disposal of former downtown lighting.
Yes, so I did send the light back finally. I got it out from under my desk. So the first part is I had talked to Mark about we have the money from the fire to do a shed, and he this has some old stuff in it still. Sorry. So this plan is in your folders under number 6. I also sent you an email with an update asking you to take a look at the location. So he's proposing a lean-to off the back of this shed. It's on the plan in the black line. It would go to the edge of the pavement. He said that we would put bollards in on the corners so no one would hit it, the shed. But it would be technically a 2-sided shed with an open front, which would allow them to put access in and put the storage in that they need. The other thought is they were going to do this previously and they didn't do it, but right about this location, none of this stuff is here, by the way.
Right.
There is a shed currently built right here, but they would put in one of those larger storage containers that you can actually access with the skid steer
Yeah.
and drive into it. He's supposed to get some pricing on that, but we believe, I'll hand that around. If they build the addition themselves, it would cost about $3,200 in materials plus them building it.
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to get prices. We have about $22,000.
And I gotta think that container's 8 or 10.
Yeah, so we have, for the salt shed, we have $29,000.
Okay.
So we think we can do both.
Yep.
And that will get us some more storage that
So
we
they're
need.
thinking about that for cardboard and then
Yeah.
using the other shed for other storage?
Yeah, we've talked also a little bit about the lights
Yeah.
that were brought up in Bill Dowie's presentation about they're not taking them at household hazardous waste anymore. So I asked Mark about his opinion about the people that Lakes Region's recommending, and he said, well, if we're gonna do it, then we can do it through NRRA, and that would be better, he said, and so potentially we could store them that way in
Yeah.
one of these structures as well, so.
Yeah.
And then we would dispose of them through NRRA once or twice a year, whatever, depending on how much we get.
Right.
And we'll know for sure, but
I've got a
cardboard
bunch.
definitely. What?
I said I got a bunch.
Well, I was trying to think, we had boxes of it here,
Yeah.
we had to
Yeah.
send over when we moved too.
I still have some of the old fluorescent fixtures in the basement.
I don't touch
Converted
them.
most to LED, but
Well, that's what we just started doing at my
Yeah.
house, but,
Yeah.
so as long
Yeah.
as we can come in under that number, it would be booked to the insurance money,
Yeah.
if you were good with that.
Do you need a motion for this purchase?
No, because
It's
it's in the insurance money and
Right.
it'll be, we just wanted to make sure the board, before we started building something,
Yeah,
that you were good with it.
I would defer to their,
Yeah.
you know, we've got the money, it needs to be go back to that facility, and if they think that works for them, great.
Nail.
So yeah, that is the quote for all of the materials, and it's about $3,200, so.
What's it gonna use for footing? I don't see footings on here. Do we have some precast footings hanging around in the yard? If he's gonna be digging up for a baller, he might as well put a precast footing in there, I would think.
You can discuss that with them.
I can add that too, that he should be putting some precast fittings.
Or what's he using for?
He's gonna ask you what you know about precast.
I'm gonna say, yeah, you buy them and they look like this.
They're
They're precast.
They're sitting right in front of the valleys. They're like $300 a piece.
Oh, now she can say that too.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
We could do it like the salt shed was done.
I think she should just.
Well, the salt shed was what? It was
Poles down the
telephone
ground.
pole.
Well, the only problem is it's all asphalt. He's gonna have to dig with the
Well,
asphalt.
no.
He can't-
I closed the picture. It's right on the edge of the
No.
asphalt.
No, where his painting is, it's on the
It's on the
asphalt.
asphalt.
We checked it out Saturday. We did our homework.
Yeah, but nobody ever answers the emails. There was other questions in the email.
Did
You said thank you very much.
Is that not, is that not an answer?
Yes.
It's a reply.
Yeah, okay, good. You did answer. Okay,
It
so.
fell into my, I need to get back to that. And then,
It's a
what
big
email?
packet.
He did.
Yeah, and Scott's like, let's go look at the building. I went, what building?
What?
What are you talking about? Okay. I will follow up with an update so you know what kind of precast fittings he's going to use.
Or maybe he's planning on using sonotube concrete, but I don't know. I think there has to be something.
Fittings or sonotubes.
And the lighting.
I don't think you had lighting proposed for there.
No,
Next
the
item.
next item
Oh,
is the.
sorry.
is the-
All right, so for those of you who haven't seen this picture or haven't seen it sitting in
Have you seen the lights?
office, there's no picture.
That's fine.
Like that.
Yeah, there's no picture. But the street lighting, the big picture, the big lights that used to be downtown, there are 19 of them. They're taking up a lot of space at the highway department. Granted, if he builds this, he could probably stash them there, but
No.
then, no.
There's no sense.
So his comment is, they aren't real glass, because the one in my office, I thought it was glass, it's not. It is aluminum, so he could potentially, recycle it, but we do not think if we put them up for offer that we're gonna get anything, because they were cut off, in order to put the new ones on, and the wires were cut at the edge of the light, so. For those who didn't see them in my office.
Date one.
I know, it's,
Gotta hang it as a
I
chandelier
think he should be on the bike path.
in the screen house.
No, I just thought, no.
I was going to take it and replace my street light at
That's me
home,
after.
but I don't think so. It's
Yeah.
gonna be too hard to wire. I'll stick with my street light.
Well, yeah, if somebody wanted to mount them on a pole, it would be a project.
Oh, yeah.
You've got
I'd
some
say
kind of
we
an
just-
adapter and,
Some Baker, put him along the wall.
Do we give it a week's time and if someone wants them, they come get them, or do we just recycle it?
That's up to you.
What does Mark wanna do?
Mark wants to get rid of
He
them.
wants them gone,
He
right,
wants them
most
gone.
likely, but do we wanna offer?
He's
maybe-
had them, you figure, 4 months now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because we replaced those
Yeah.
lights this summer or so.
Has he said if anybody's inquired about them?
There's been only one inquiry about putting them back on.
Right.
Oh,
if we recycle them, all taxpayers get a tiny, teeny, weeny
It would
piece of
go
it.
into the general
Sure.
fund, yeah.
Right, as opposed to one person, giving them away to one person.
Sure. And then that
Yeah.
person could do, yeah, let's,
Make a motion.
requires a motion to get rid of
Because
lights,
it's,
dispose of the
well, there's
lights.
19 of them, we usually do.
We
for
would have, we
disposal.
normally would have policy,
We do.
so
But
if you're gonna go outside of that policy, you should probably have a motion.
I make a motion that we give the highway department permission to dispose of the lights
To recycle.
to be recycled.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, that's 4-0. Big business tonight.
And then you look and you think, oh wow, we're just down to the town administrator's report, and you open it up and say, what?
don't look at it because it's half not done.
Good.
There are some items, but, is that where we are?
Yep.
Which one first?
I'm going to get back to it here. Public safety building is accurate. Public safety building update, just to give you that, the start. We did submit the documents for phase 1 closeout on the bonding. That's done, and we should be receiving the updated bonding for phase 2 next week.
Great.
We've submitted 6 months of electric billings that we paid by the town. They are doing a change order, they call it a change order deduct, which will come off of the next billing.
Yep.
And that will get us paid back, and we'll do the same thing with the next round of the bills. The Dead River tanks were installed. There is a slight payment that was, there is a slight amount of fuel that was added. Ben said that you have to put fuel in them, you can't just leave them empty. So we're gonna pay that bill out of the general government budget.
Yeah.
But we don't anticipate any more, right away. The trusses and framing should be completed in approximately 2 weeks. There has been a delay as the framing has taken longer than they expected. They are still shooting for the roofer to start, not start, and get weather tight by Thanksgiving. And we are also gonna look at rescheduling the committee and the select board for another site visit at
Great.
that time. Issues reported at the last meeting regarding correction of a couple of items that were done incorrectly. I think Rob had reported that to the board. The exact fix for correcting them hasn't been defined yet. Once the roof is done and they start putting the lines for the partition walls, then we'll have an exact determination of how we're gonna fix the 2 issues, so.
Do you remember the 2 issues?
There is I can only remind you of one right now, the drain.
The floor drain?
The floor drain, yeah.
Wrong location. right?
Wrong location, so it depends on where the partition walls are, if they might have to adjust.
Right, okay.
There was something in the back, and I'm trying to remember what exactly that was.
Alright, while we're talking on that, I had someone reach out to me asking why the contractor is using OSB on the, I'm assuming it was on the roof.
Yeah.
Or on the sheathing, on the end, on the sheathing on the end.
I can ask.
I'm assuming it was, instead of like, the zip board or the
Because
advanced,
it's less expensive.
well, ultimately, but
Yeah.
was it was that, like, an oversight, or was it intentional, or is it because of pricing?
I would
Was it
assume,
an accident?
I would assume it's intentional, but I will clarify. What?
I wouldn't have thought we got that far in the weeds.
Yeah, no,
Well,
we kind
Well,
of tried.
so some of the stuff does get a little bit further in the weeds, but I don't think we were involved on that part. They gave us a price, they told us what they would do, and we're just making sure it's done that way. They told us, so I don't know if we knew they'd do that or not, but I can ask, so.
Okay, that's it. That was my, I guess yeah.
There,
Note that they delivered the retaining wall blocks.
yes,
They're on site, so I don't know when Morrison's scheduled to come back and start working on that, but
I don't think that was discussed today.
Yeah.
We had a public safety building meeting today, but it was really short and brief. I don't think it was discussed. I will look and see if it was.
just curious, but that's another big progress, I think, for people to see,
Yeah,
that raw hillside.
Did the town or reach out to Wade, Joel, about maybe having use of his photos, his aerials that he took of the building?
no, because there's a camera on there.
Have you seen his pictures?
No.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It starts another conversation.
There is a camera.
More pictures on our webpage of the project?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
We,
very nice.
Kate, we have done it, but we haven't, I don't know if we have any more right now, but we can reach out to Joel and ask him if we can use his, so, yep. There is a,
He's got a couple different angles from around it. It's pretty cool. They
yeah,
came out there really nice pictures.
I don't think I can get to it right now.
While you're doing that, I think, Christina, you mentioned to me that there was a complaint from someone that they thought the roofers weren't being safe, and Rob went and looked at it, and it's all good.
Ben went and looked at it.
Ben went and looked at it.
And we also talked about it today during the public safety.
Okay.
They hire a company by the name of CRM that does the training, comes out, does the spot checking. CRM maintains, trains, and makes sure that they actually pull everybody off the roof when they come out. They do training. They're using what's called, now we get to, something harnesses.
Yeah.
Fall rush.
Yeah, when Ben went out, they were harnessed, and Zach has said that he will make sure that if he sees it, he would address it. Zach's the on-site person.
Yeah.
But, and I know you responded that you've always
Every
seen.
time I probably stop and take 10, 15 minutes to watch,
Every day.
probably 3 times a week. And every time I've noticed them pulling the straps and the ropes
Yeah.
behind them.
Same here.
Well, we'll make sure that
Okay.
there's more pictures
you.
added, because there's a special way you have to add them, because when I add them, I throw them out of line. And it messes up the page, so, we'll get some more pictures, and I'll ask, you said Joel, Wade?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've only been going over there when I'm gonna do the newsletter, really, but I can go regularly, like weekly, if you guys want.
It's probably good.
I mean, they're making good progress on it
So-
now, so it's moving.
Should
they
we
are-
have access to those photos that they're doing?
I'll
Their
ask
time-
them if we have access.
Maybe there's
to
a
the
time lapse to
lapse.
date that they could do
Yeah.
for us?
That would be cool.
Because they are doing the time lapse recording,
Right.
so, I will ask them if we'll have access to those, so, earlier.
Or maybe just do it in installments and so that we don't wait until the whole thing is done to have the time lapse. Maybe they could do it in phases
We could play some of that at town meeting.
Yep.
Up front.
as people are coming in.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. That's pretty much it on the fire department.
Okay.
Highway department, we're still working on those items, the phone system, the Green Street, I just haven't had time to try and pull Dean's yet. She's good with it right now.
As long as it's not creating an additional problem.
Right now, no.
Yeah.
So, police department, the outside call box is installed. We have
Saw that.
signs that we would like to put up to direct people even when there's meetings to go use the box.
Yeah.
But it is out there, so, no new update, well, you got a partial update during your non-public on the police officer position, but there's nothing new yet on any more candidates
Yeah.
than that. We'll skip down. There are 2 open positions at the water sewer department. It just says open on your report. We have the assistant in training and the
Two open positions.
so you have the assistant operator in training and then the operator in
Yeah.
training. So those 2 open positions, he's had no calls. So we're gonna, he's gonna try to put something, I don't know if he did it in this buzz, but he was gonna try to put something in the buzz about, are you trying to
Does he,
ask more questions? Are you interested in this?
does he have an inkling of the reasons? Is it is it
I think it's
harder to find those
It's a
folks?
combination. That's why we proposed the change that we did with the wage scale, because
Yeah,
they, and even DES said when they did that report to us, that they are well underpaid. So I think that's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of people don't want to work with sewer, maybe,
yeah,
the negative connotations of that. But we aren't even getting any inkling, so
right.
nobody's calling at all. I'm going to finish posting on Indeed, hopefully that will, usually that gives us a little bit more traffic when
Yeah.
I do that, but I haven't had a chance to get that done.
High school having a job fair?
I don't think they have those though until later in the year. I don't think they have that until spring, because we have attended yet that, and we thought about having something, just doing something here.
Yeah,
Because we have the 2 water positions, we have the transfer station. That's on hold right now until we get the attendant in. You have the PD has a position, so, we potentially could have a position here in this building that we have to fill, so, we just don't, it's taking longer to get those things filled.
Yeah.
But we do have a position, we have whatever we decide on finance and HR.
Right,
You
right.
know, so,
okay.
You could sell those, I'm sure Jeff knows this without me telling him, but having been in that industry, the people that are in it for the most part are really proud to be doing something to protect the environment. You don't have to go to school to get a master's, you don't have to be an engineer. You can do something locally, directly in your own town to protect the waters in your town. It's a sewer job, but that, in the long run, that is what you're doing, so
Great
it's
career
definitely worth it, yeah.
he did, I was just gonna see if I could find the article, he wrote a nice article, I edited for
I like
him.
the way yeah, that's a great way. I like that aspect of it. Great way to think about it.
Kate, did he submit something for the buzz?
Not last time.
Okay, then it must be the next round, let's see.
Well, as a quick pause, Cade, what's the best way to sign up for the buzz for people watching TV?
In the buzz itself, there's a button at the bottom.
On the town website, correct?
Yep, so it's in each newsletter. There's a button at the bottom that says subscribe to the buzz, but the town website has a button at the top that says buzz newsletter, and everything you need, like the submission policy, subscription, all that stuff is there.
Very good. That's what I thought it was that simple, but
Good commercial.
Thank you, Kate.
Again, I don't see, I did edit it, but it was things like, are you interested in being, kind of on the lines you're talking about, are you interested in doing a job that will, it protects the environment and things like that, and are you a hard worker maybe, I think was some of his questions, but I'm surprised, I will find out if we're gonna put it into the next buzz, but we talked about also putting it on the website, so. Okay. And I don't see it here yet, so. So I think that covers water sewer, assessing and land use. The enforcement training was held on October 24th. Was supposed to be enclosed in your packets. The training, I will email that out separately. It was the good news is, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. The bad news is, it's still gonna take time. There's a couple of things, there's a property we've been dealing with that, we did find out one thing that we can do is ask the court for an environmental assessment before taking the property, which might be a resolution for the one that I'm thinking of.
Yes, yep.
We didn't know we could do that, so, I'm gonna talk to the attorney about doing that first, because I think that would be better than,
Yes.
and then taking something that could have some issues, so.
Yeah.
But she gave us, it was a 8-page document, step by step of the different things that you can do, but pretty much that's what we're doing. And it was good to hear that, there were a few things.
Absolutely.
Right, there was a few things that we did let slip through the cracks, but we're getting back on track, so. Yeah, so I'll email that out to you so that you all can take a look at it.
Okay.
Also, I've contacted, I think I've got an answer before this. So I've contacted the DRA about the taxes, because we still have nothing yet on tax rate setting. Department of Education is holding it up right now. All documents have been submitted. We submitted back when we were supposed to in September, and the school submitted, I think, by the end of September, maybe beginning of October, but the Department of Education hasn't apportioned the school district out to the different towns yet. And when I asked her what time turnaround, she said, no turnaround guaranteed, but it's in their hands, so we're still waiting on that. So we can't set the tax rate until we get the school district apportioned. So.
Right.
So Department of Education, you have any pull?
What's that?
I said Department of Education, you have any pull?
I mean, they'll call me back, but they won't do anything I tell them to, I'm sure. You never know.
Under the executive department, we've already talked about community power. We'll take care of scheduling that. The purchase we've talked about. Nothing new to report on Eversource. They did reach out to me and they're still trying to get us information. So
They can't want it that bad if they
right.
can. Yeah.
So window coverings. I know that I wanted to put it back out because we did get the quote in, but at the last meeting when we talked about it, there was some members of the board who didn't feel we should do it. And then we're gonna talk to the chief, and so I just wanted to double check if that's been done, but one of the members isn't here tonight, so I can't ask him.
The chief had recommended that we do it, didn't he?
But I think Sean and Rob were gonna talk to Chris.
Yeah, I did not do that.
Okay. So I can hold.
But I didn't have any reservations about
Doing
doing
it,
it.
right. I had an alternative and I didn't get to talk to Chris. I was thinking maybe we just do the bottom half of the windows because that's where everybody's sitting normally, but then it's
I
gonna
would
look
think we
weird.
should follow the chief's
Let's
recommendation.
just do it, let's just
Yeah,
go
I
ahead and do
would
it, yeah, I think so.
And
If Rob wants to complain, he can come to the meeting.
I should have been here.
he's
Could've
watching
zoomed
live. Did I get a text? No.
You could have zoomed from Florida.
All right, so we'll take care of getting that done. Bruce Joyner and I are meeting tomorrow on the all committees survey. I think that we need to have a longer conversation, not just about Bruce Joyner, but some of the other things with, for the Economic Development Committee. And I think it needs to be the board and me, the TA, and about our expectations going forward, because, I feel Bruce is a little concerned. He has specific things that he sent out in email prior to me being the TA, and he's not gotten any responses on. He's concerned that this will what we want to expect from the all committees meeting. Is it a
Yeah.
one and done? Is it gonna be continued? Is there gonna be support? So I said I'd mention it and that we would talk about having, a work session on it.
Okay,
I do think the EDC did have a non-meeting because they didn't have enough people come to the meeting. And some of the decisions are in that non-meeting, which aren't official decisions, were to create subcommittees and start having people do projects out. So the EDC wouldn't be a group meeting, but their subcommittees would be. I'm telling you right now, I can't do that.
Well, if they're looking for guidance from us, how can they create subcommittees yet?
So,
Am I misreading that?
I think that that's the intent right now of the EDC chair, based on whatever happens in the all committees.
Okay.
I'll share an email about the all committees meeting that came. We just wanted to make sure we had some direction on where you want to go with the all committees.
yeah,
So, but we are going to get it scheduled. Bruce was thinking it wouldn't be right away, and I'm like, no, we're gonna schedule it in November sometime. We're gonna find a way to do it, just because it's taken all summer to get this done, so.
okay,
But, I said I'll talk to the board a little bit more about it.
okay.
Events, I just wanted to say the scarecrow decorating contest. If you haven't checked out the scarecrows in the square,
Some cool ones.
there's some that aren't in the square, there's some around. If you haven't seen the fire department
Fire
participate.
departments was cool.
Mhm.
Newfound,
I like the crossing guard.
oh yeah,
Me too, every time I see him though, I
Yeah.
start to.
I did too.
He waves back.
Yeah.
there was some bunch of people have taken pictures with
That's
the crossing
cool.
guard and
Yeah.
posted them, and how much they love him. So,
What a great thing.
that's not the right meeting. Newfound Lakes Region Watershed Workshop, for anybody who was interested in attending, November 13th at 6 p.m. at the Alexandria Old Town Hall. Grafton Regional Development Corporation, they have sent more information. I'll share that out about a save the date. Actually, it's in your folders. They had originally sent a save the date. They've sent, since then, there's an email on behalf of the board of directors. They are pleased to invite you to attend their annual meeting Thursday, November 16th at 9 a.m. via Zoom. The meeting will be held at the Dartmouth Regional Technology Center in Lebanon, if you'd like to join them in person. They said, the reason they're asking is because if you do want to participate, I have to reserve you a space.
We have a meeting that night.
This is 9 a.m. though.
Nice time.
What is this? For health?
Grafton.
Grafton Regional Development Corporation, this is, and you get a vote apparently too. Well, this is your RSVP and proxy statement for their annual meeting. Let me go to. Oh, it's the same thing. Each municipality in Grafton County is a member of the Regional Commission and thus receives one vote during the annual meeting. Members will vote to approve a slate of directors. The bylaws require that 25% of members or 10 communities be present or represented by a proxy at the annual meeting to constitute a quorum.
Excuse me, to interrupt, we have this?
Yeah.
I've got the navigator handout, I've got the proposed board meeting with
Hang on.
TAGRDC.
It's down at the bottom, is the
2023.
Word document.
Oh, it's in the TA report?
Yeah.
Oh, I had that open, sorry.
So TA 2023 is one, there's one Grafton Regional Development email, then there is a 2023 annual meeting RSVP and proxy.
Yeah,
And then there's also the navigator handout and the slate of proposed board members,
yeah.
which doesn't, there it goes.
Oh, I see, it's up a few, got it.
Yeah, they are not organized for you.
No, it's fine, got it.
I failed you miserably tonight.
No, no, no.
But, I think you can pick somebody to go to serve as Zoom if you wanted to, and we would just record it, and on the proxy statement.
Well, would this be someone from our ADC? No? Or am I?
What time is it? I think it would either be someone, we want somebody to vote on your behalf, so it would be either be EDC or I think it would be the town administrator, so.
Do you want to do that?
I was
Is
just
that what
checking.
you're asking?
Hang on, I'll tell you. I can do it, there's nothing going that day, I can do Zoom if you want me to.
And a hush falls over the studio floor.
Did you click on the handout, the GRDC Navigator handout?
Yes.
Do you know what downtown picture that is?
I was trying to figure it out, Rob.
What
I don't recognize it.
Oh, I just lost my,
It's on the cover of their flyer
this
newsletter.
thing.
Yeah, that.
Oh, yeah, I did read that.
Oh, that
Littleton?
looks like,
I was trying to.
What's the in say? On that in it says,
I can't read the word.
no, it doesn't.
is that Conway? Or Littleton?
I don't think it's Littleton.
Huh.
Thayer Inn, is that what that says? I can't, it's fuzzy.
Doesn't know.
Lincoln, is the person below it is from Lincoln, and the green.
Well, the Woodstock Inn is here in one of the pictures.
Yep.
But that didn't look like Woodstock.
No,
No.
Not at all.
that's not Lincoln.
Is that Claremont?
No.
All
I
right,
won't
well,
say anymore.
so yeah, okay.
Lincoln downtown.
Thayer's Inn, Littleton, New Hampshire.
It is
Lincoln?
Littleton, it
Littleton.
does look
Littleton.
like Littleton, though.
Well, it looks like it says Thayer's Inn on there, that's right,
Could be.
so I just typed it in.
Okay, do you
Okay.
want me to attend the meeting and act as your proxy?
Sure.
That would be
Okay.
wonderful.
Grafton proxy. Okay, also there, we've been, given a host site agreement, which I think is in your packets. It's for Lakes Region Household Hazardous Waste Day. We've got the same date next year, they were able to work that out for us. But we have to sign an agreement, I just wanna make sure it is a 40% increase, but it is a great benefit, and Mark, really feels we should still continue with them, cause it's hard to, where are we gonna get rid of our hazardous?
This is one of those ones, it's been level funded for many years, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the first year that they've gone this much of an increase,
Yeah.
so.
And you can imagine how much environmental contractors have gone
Yeah.
up in the last couple of years.
And then they did say, it also is in your packet, there, for household hazardous waste sites, that, they did approve a request to include a $500 stipend to each host community to help offset the cost of a roll-off dumpster. Because we normally, do pay for, we do actually put a dumpster out there.
Yeah.
So it sounds, they did vote that they would be able to offset that for us, so. All right, so I'll take care of that. This is also not in your TA report. This is a drawing based on the site visit for the Pemmy Path.
Which one is this?
It should be in your folders, and you should, so you can pull it up
Takes a
and take.
second to load.
I'm trying to catch it, I'm trying to watch really quick and see what you're clicking on.
It says Pemmy, I'm going back to it, Pemmy Path overall, 10/13/23. If you open that, you'll be able to see them better on your computers. Mike Rignelli drew it up based off of the site visit, the Pemmy Path. I went to it, I didn't do the walk, but I went and had listened to the conversation. And then they drew up alternatives, ending, let me get back to it. So this is the end of the path, and they're doing an alternative which they want to tie in. Once everything clears. They want to be able to have snowmobile, but also have cross-country skiers or hikers, and they wanted to split them off. They wanted to keep the snowmobilers out of Periwinkle Field because that's one of the things that the Army Corps was really concerned about, which Periwinkle Field is down here.
Yeah,
That
that makes sense. What is the yellow line?
So
It says,
it says,
oh, it's a,
it doesn't say, it says option C, follow existing wood road.
That's a better, I can tell you that that's a better path than that stretch where there's water on both sides.
Yeah, right here.
That needs significant amount of work.
And that's where the bridge was proposed, wasn't it? We'd have to do some type of bridge.
Possibly, I'm not sure, but I have walked that whole area, and that stretch where it's that close to the water, with the wetland on the other side, is, although it would be scenic as heck, would be a lot of work. Yeah, it's pretty degraded and overgrown, which isn't so much of an issue, but it's pretty, there's a lot of spots that just would need a lot of work, and it's right on the river,
Right,
so it's probably more expensive work.
yes. So the red is the existing railroad bed.
Yeah,
So the alternative routes are thought, if the Army Corps would approve them, would also, I think, save money by going up. There's an alternative here following the existing Woods Road.
yep, I know that road as well. It would be better. I mean, it's nice to be on
The railroad bed,
the
right?
railroad. Although I'm not sure, that stretch didn't seem to me to be terrible, but it's interesting, there's only one spot in that whole stretch where the railroad grade cut through both sides, where there's a cut on both sides. Everything else is just flat or one side. It's kind of, that was interesting to me.
And I don't believe there's any changes to the first part of the path.
and what is it with keeping snowmobiles out of the field down there? What's the
The
deal?
Army Corps didn't, it's called Periwinkle Field, and the Army Corps doesn't want snowmobiles in Periwinkle Field. So,
They currently have that gated off in the winter time.
Just because they don't want it damaged, is that the basic
Yeah.
idea?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty
So,
nice down there.
so there would be an alternative route for this, and the snowmobile, I believe if you come up here, would tie in
Yes.
with the existing snowmobile trail, which comes this way or something like that.
No, we had this conversation, Conservation Commission, that cuts across, the snowmobile trail cuts across a little piece of property we own. Or is
I
it not
don't-
active? Do you
I don't
remember
think
that
that-
conversation?
Yeah, I don't think the trail map is as accurate as we thought it was, because when I was there for the site visit,
No,
it goes behind
it actually, it doesn't, it leaves just past it.
Okay,
So they're talking about, when it comes in, there's your existing gate. I don't
Yeah.
know if I can get any closer. So they would come out, this is Profile Falls Road, goes down in, there's a gate up here.
oh, I
to
see,
where the-
I see what they're doing,
So-
okay, yeah.
They would come out through here, and then they're talking about actually putting it through here, the trail, the
'Cause that's where-
snowmobile trail.
That's where it is,
Well,
Yes.
isn't it?
they
Yeah.
want them to avoid, there's some foundation, there's an old foundation somewhere around here.
Yeah.
So, but it would tie into that, so.
Mhm. That'd be fabulous, would that be cool?
That's actually another old roadway
Yeah.
there, that purple stretch where it leaves the pavement.
Yeah, you could see that it
Yeah.
looked like it was something there.
Yeah, a little
and
flat.
That's
Yeah.
where I left them and they walked from there, but,
It's pretty exciting stuff.
so do you have any, I mean, do you think the alternative, the two split is good? And the
Yeah.
alternative route you're suggesting?
You know, I don't know what the issue is with the first one, in the first purple one. It's an existing woods road. I don't know what the issue is with why they want that as an alternative.
Unless they were thinking that would be better for the cross-country skiers, but
Yeah,
to tie back in. I can-
Closer to the river is nicer.
It is.
All
but
aspects.
the yellow in the second purple,
Yeah.
I think, is a better route.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it would, yes, it is a better official route.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exciting, very neat.
Yeah. Now, if they just waive the environmental impact statement, that would
So
be great.
the Pemmy Path Committee is asking for them to go to NEPA
Yeah.
direct. And we're waiting to find out if that's a possibility. It wasn't even decided that we would have to do NEPA. And so the last contact that we've had,
Did you see the famous 5-gallon bucket on your trip?
no, it's gone.
I did
They
not.
removed it.
It's gone.
They took it
I saw
away.
many other things.
Yeah, it's good. Glad to
They
hear.
they did take it away, and they did tell us what the test results are, Pemmy Path is, and they've told us that they'll give us a copy of the actual results.
Yeah.
So I reached out, to Tia for that information as well.
I don't know, that periwinkle field looks like a nice oval.
I know.
Oh, is that what that is, the oval?
Yeah.
I was trying to zone in on that.
Yeah, and then if you follow that upper road that comes off the upper side of it, that goes out to a really cool spot where the railroad crossed the river there with a bridge.
Which way? I've been down there, but going this way?
Yeah, that road on the upper part of the circle.
Yeah.
And then if you follow, there's a little line that keeps going out to the left there, goes
Yeah.
off the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a pretty impressive abutment there on both sides of the river. The bridge is gone.
Yeah, I've seen that from the water side, yeah.
Yeah,
So they said they are looking for the test result report, and they would like to know the decision USA's had at the regional headquarters regarding the environmental assessment. They lobbied about going directly to NEPA. It would be good to pass along the trip status report sent earlier to her and ask for points identified. And we're also going to share the new plan. so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
make a nice logging road too.
Mhm.
Cut some of that wood. Maybe they'll pay for it.
There you go.
Well, they have timbering rights.
No, I know, they actually, the state of New Hampshire foresters contract that work.
I'm gonna hold this
Forest and Lands does the
Mm.
management.
Central Street stuff till next meeting. I did put, the select board budget with all its updates in the folder for you as well, so you're welcome to look at that. I also put for those, I did email it. What?
It's out of our hands.
So there was a question about it being posted on the website. I haven't posted anything. I didn't, I can do that.
Let
but
the
it's-
budget committee do their
Well,
work. I
That's
don't,
what I thought. The budget committee has to do their work. I can certainly post what they're gonna be reviewing each week.
Yeah.
I've set their meetings up ahead and done their individual budgets for those meetings all the way ahead.
Yeah.
Just because it was easier to get it done.
We'll end up with 30 copies of it floating around too.
yes.
Right, so, also, whoops, we'll skip that for a second. There is I think I emailed it to you as well, the memo that we shared with the budget committee, about select board priorities. It's this memo. If you haven't read it, I think it's in your email. We pretty much said that the board met with, the board priorities during the review were employee retention, attract new employees, succession planning, maintain existing services, and update the current plan for road maintenance. So, and then there was a little blurb further down, so you're welcome, if you didn't read it in your email, to look at it.
I had a hard copy of this.
So that's right, you were there. So, a cyclical monitoring packet. The Department of Revenue will review the work of our assessing firm. So this is the packet that they submitted on the cyclical monitoring. They score them, they say what was wrong on each of them, and they do a random selection. So you're welcome to look at that. The errors were very little, and whatever there were for errors, we will correct on the assessing side. So. What's wrong? It's stuck again?
Yeah, it's all good. I'm just muttering.
I'm wondering why yours keeps sticking.
You read my face way too well. It's very funny.
The Primex, we did talk about their update, the reason that they went up. We didn't talk about why they went up, we just knew that they went up. So in your packets is a renewal information about the highlights. I thought it was nice to be able to share that. I will make sure to share it also when I present the budget to the budget committee. But overall, property reinsurance rates paid by Primex on behalf of its members have substantially increased over the past 3 years. They are taking a measured approach to the increased cost. So it sounds like this is not going to be the only year it gets increased slightly, but I just wanted you to be aware of that.
That's good language to try to soften us up.
Yeah.
Taking a measured approach.
They did say, they determined loss estimates for property liability program claims increased in the low single digits for 2024. Workers' compensation rates are increasing in 2024, we knew that. We got the bill, but they said primarily for municipal and special district members with firefighters due to recent legislation.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's out of their control for those costs. I don't know what the recent legislation was, but unemployment compensation rates are moderately decreasing, although we saw a slight increase on our billing, but I think it's because we hadn't budgeted correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then for all programs, individual member contributions may vary based on performance, payroll, and exposure changes. So. And with that, Mooney Clark Landing, we got an email that I don't know if I reported on this, and if I did, I'm sorry for the duplicate. But the fishing game is approved accepting the property into the statewide boat access program.
Good.
The next step continues to be transferring the right-of-way to Fish and Game through a hearing. Unfortunately, there's a delay because they haven't found a third member to act on the hearing. I'm supposed to be on it, and I believe either Bill Dowie or Ned Gordon, I'm not sure which one ended up, but the third person, they haven't found yet. So as soon as they find, we'll be going to a hearing.
I'm glad that went through. I had forgotten all about, I had been contacted by one of the commissioners, who was a retired forester, fishing game commissioner, and he had some serious reservations about them taking that for all the reasons we've discussed. And then I forgot completely about it. So I'm glad that ended up going through.
And so we were doing it the right way, but my understanding is that the hydro is still transferring the full ownership of the property
Yeah,
to Fish and Game if they'll accept it.
right.
I had been reached out, well, I should have blacked that out. But I had been contacted by a member of the public who wanted to propose that the 50 miles per hour speed limit start on Route 104, start after the road to the transfer station heading toward New Hampton. She said many times she's gone and only to have somebody either be on her bumper or almost hit her.
Yeah.
Which she does have a point. I've gone over to the.
We talked about this,
Yeah.
and I think, did we bring it up at the,
Well, that's what I was.
I think we brought it up in the
10-year
plan. We would
Did
like
we?
to, we would like to
I think
see
it's
that.
on there.
Because I did respond that I did say it is a state road, but I would mention it to the board, but I can make sure it's in the 10-year plan.
I would also, well, maybe reach out to the state and say, just ask what are the chances?
Why don't you let me do that?
What would we have to do? Okay.
John Sellers and I already talked, like I said, we talked to them again about exit 23, so
Yeah.
let's add that into that conversation.
Yeah, because they start the 50 before you turn into the transfer station, and if you don't get right over, you
Oh,
are
yeah.
getting.
And that, well, I was on the other side of that. I was a couple years ago,
Pulling out, I was with
5
you.
years ago, yeah,
Yeah.
Sean was with me. We were leaving the transfer station, taking a left, going to town.
Somebody was turning.
Someone was turning and I never saw the vehicle that was behind it,
Going around
going
there.
around it. And I pulled out and then I
It was
saw
the-
it and I stopped, but the
It was
person,
the slowest motion crash ever.
the car skidded and then, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if the other person would have reacted differently, it could have been avoided, but it is what it is. But yeah, no, there is, I mean, traffic coming in and out of there.
Yeah.
You know, they won't put a warning light like on a Saturday. And
Right,
then
right.
there's the baseball field
Right.
during the ball
Baseball
season,
Right.
so
Too.
I think it's a legitimate concern to
Yeah.
petition the state or request them to remove it.
Health Trust, to go back to the regular TA report now that I've looked through the list. Health Trust is holding their annual member meeting and board of directors meeting for December 7th at 3 p.m. at the Grove Pony Conference Center. If
Yep.
anybody's interested.
Who is that?
Health Trust, it's our Health Trust.
Sorry,
is-
we still,
We have Primex, who is our property liability, workers' comp, unemployment compensation, short-term disability. No, Health Trust is, yes, Primex is short-term disability. Health Trust is our insurance
health
carrier.
insurance, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And so I don't think I can make that meeting, but I don't think, it's just electing their board of directors. I don't think there's a lot of other information on that particular agenda, but I will look. Communications, I thought you might, I had scanned it, but it didn't make it into your packet, so I'll pass this around. Swiss View has submitted a wetlands application for a waterfront and drainage improvements.
Yes.
And when they had come to the board previously and talked to us, but I just wanted you to see them. We've also gotten a proof of service, so that's their wetlands application. They are going to be doing an access ramp, replacement of retaining walls, drainage improvements, sand replacement, and other waterfront improvements to their private beach. We have let them, and so they are also going to need to do a special use permit for the work. So we've been notified that that special use permit will be heard on November 8th at 7 p.m. And then that packet has all of the North Point Engineering drew up their plans, and all their engineering information and who was notified in it for New Hampshire DES. We talked about that. I think that's it. I don't know.
Can you show up?
Take it when she says it.
I didn't say one
Yeah, she
more
said
thing.
I was just gonna say,
She said that's
One more
it, she's done.
Well, it's only next week, so I can always,
Right.
unless it does something really important, but.
Selectmen items. Les?
Halloween, Tuesday.
Right.
North Main
Yes.
Street will be closed at 4:45, I believe it will be closed. 4:30, 4.
I think the sign said 4.
It could be 4, anytime between 4 and 4:45. I would stay away from North Main Street altogether.
There was only one sign,
Before
that, just so we could have made 2, I suppose. There was one sign with both sides of it, and it got put out there.
Good. And trick or treating ends at 7:30, so don't miss it.
Hazel's Light is doing,
Oh.
Yes, they're gonna be doing the pumpkins on the square, so, and then they're also doing a pumpkin decorating contest that people can submit their pumpkins to, and there's some cash prizes for the winners, and they'll have information on Hazel's Foundation there as well.
I think the bleachers are going out tomorrow.
Oh, good.
I had asked them to put them out Monday, but
They're working Fridays?
Everybody else want?
yes, they're back now, so, Carol might, you don't wanna look.
yeah,
at
I'll take one. Rob's really not pulling his weight out.
we need, at least need him here to pass the items
Right.
around the corner.
So
Or-
yeah,
or they
so
could've
they got
said-
the signs out today, the bleachers are going tomorrow.
Good. John, you got anything?
Yes, I do, in fact. I was contacted in a couple different emails this week. One by a resident asking us to be proactive on the parking ban and signage, and both proactive and enforcing it, making sure we're enforcing it.
Where?
Especially with the bank parking spot.
I will, so we had this on our list to get to before the parking ban, because we talked about changing the parking ordinance.
Yeah,
But we have not been able to get to it.
Right.
So if at all we can, we'll try to bring some, I will talk to Chris Bean about having something next week.
Yeah.
If possible, because the parking ban goes into effect on November 15th.
right.
So,
Oh,
Right. And then there was a complaint that one of our American flags that was on the pole in front of the barber shop was pretty tattered. And I did ask Christina this morning to ask Mark to take care of that, and about 45 minutes later, they were taking care of it.
Great.
So,
they had checked them last week and it wasn't as bad. When they went out today, they were like, oh my God, something happened over the week.
yeah,
Because
I saw it yesterday and went, ooh.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna get it this morning, but I would be standing on the back of the top of my truck, and I was just like, eh.
They leave them up through Veterans Day and then they come down normally, so when they checked it, they thought it would make it to Veterans Day.
Yeah.
So it's down, we don't have a replacement to put up right now.
No, that's fine, as long as it's not, yeah,
Right.
still up there. I think they may have taken the one down in front of the purple pit. I saw them setting up the ladder.
They did take a couple down, he
Yeah.
said, and then I've asked them to let me know if they can go out, if they can get some replacements out of this year's flag. I'll
Yeah.
hold off on bunting instead, and
Yeah.
then that way we can get some, and we'll be all ready to go in the spring, so.
Okay.
Because we have a little bit of money left in the budget.
I went to, and Scott joined me, of course Les was there, but I did present the budget to the budget committee on Monday. Pretty, actually, well received. Some positive comments about, no matter how difficult it is, wanting to make sure to do their best to try to help us retain employees and be able to hire people. I do think they're gonna look for, monies elsewhere, but very encouraging very encouraging comments regarding that side of
Okay.
things.
I did start to do, while you're on budget, I did start to do there's not a particularly easy way to do it, but I started to go through the budget lines, just to see some of the fixed costs.
Yeah.
And it'll open, I can tell you. So I don't have the total number of lines, but it's pretty substantial budget lines. But the first part of it, I've gotten through payroll lines, paid employees, including elected positions. There are 73 lines. Lines attributed to payroll like FICA, Medicare, retirement, there are 84 lines that are attributed to that. Debt and interest payment lines, those are already set, 26 lines, and I counted water sewer in this.
Yep.
And then contracted services such as, and I included election costs because we don't have a control
Right.
over whether we have 4 elections or not. Costs out of the town's control, there were 39 lines. And building related expenses, 32 lines. Lines associated with the wage scale adjustment, there were 7 lines, and that's as far as I've gotten.
So that's just under 200, around 290 lines.
Yeah, and that's not even the vehicles and equipment, or the other, or the outside agency lines. So I don't know if you'll agree with how I categorize them, but I color coded it, and I'll share that when I'm done.
Yeah, excellent. That's good work, because it's good.
How many lines total do we have?
What?
How many
I don't
lines?
know that yet. I didn't count them, I figured I'd add them up when I was done. So, because there's not, probably if I went back to the old Excel, I could tell you roughly what they were on the old Excel, but not in this program.
Okay.
That's all I had, I believe.
Well, just one more thing.
Carol?
I had to fill in for the planning board
yeah.
meeting, and planning board meetings are lengthy and contentious and difficult. In this case,
He got lucky,
So I missed a good one?
in
About
this,
20 minutes.
in this case,
except for
yes,
me.
we were out of here in about 17 minutes.
Total?
Yes.
He got,
So-
you know
Oh, so you're
why?
being sarcastic, being
No.
contentious.
No, it was, there were no cases. We looked at the schedule for the year, and approved the
CIP
minutes.
didn't make it because Dawn had
Right.
to cancel the last
CIP
meeting,
couldn't
so.
come, so there's a couple of agenda items that people couldn't show up, so, there was not much happening, so. We could take a quick look at the proposed, warrant article changes. So, that was that.
Thank you for wondering.
That was a good, I'll take that one. For next year, there has to be a way to make a few simple handicap accesses to the beach at the foot of the lake. Without doing a $400,000 rebuild at the foot of the lake.
I couldn't agree more.
And it came, I had forgotten about it until I drove down there the other day at the 4th of July. Oh, it was when I was taking beach samples. I was talking to a woman there, and she has trouble walking, and she was trying to get over the rocks.
Well, 'cause they
Especially
cannot
even where the
have
handicap parking
spaces.
is, there isn't.
Right.
Right.
So,
We were
There's
supposed to
gotta
move
be-
the parking spaces this year, and they didn't get moved. They got painted before Mark had shared that they were supposed to be moved.
yeah.
Because where they are, you can't get to the water. So,
Three spots along from where the rocks start down to the big catch. How
So
difficult
this has
can
been
that
a
be?
pet peeve of mine forever, and every time I bring it up, I get hit with, well, let's engineer it. No,
Right.
let's just do it.
Right. We can
Now, in fairness, Mark says that there are permits that are required, and
to do certain
take,
things.
that's not that hard. We'll
agreed.
get the permits and take a backhoe. I know, maybe I'm oversimplifying it. Take a backhoe down and add some sand and whatever, and just
I think
make
that's,
something somebody can walk down. So for next
there's
summer.
also, and because it's not a long stretch, there are actually, some towns and beaches are doing these kind of mats
Yeah, we looked at that.
Yeah, but if nothing else, they gotta find a way to get down over those rocks.
Right.
I was gonna say Hampton Beach does it.
Yeah.
Could we ask the NLRA for like assistance with the project? Could that fall under their purview?
I don't
It-
think
It
so.
will,
No.
I think it'll blow up into some huge thing.
Well, I don't think NLRA would do it because it's really not.
It's not water
It's
quality.
not water quality, it's
Well,
not
it could be if
environmental.
you're building a ramp down and it's channeling the water.
Let's, yeah, can we put it on our list of things to talk about after the first of the year
Sure.
anyway?
I would love to make improvements to that
Yeah.
beach.
No,
I'm the one who said, let's just buy a bunch of those blocks and get those rocks
So-
out there and.
But, what
Add some
was,
steps in.
Ashland has,
They put the blocks in.
they have the whole blocks all along the whole line.
but
But they don't
what I'm
have
trying to do is
handicap
not do
access.
what you just said. Make improvements to the
So
beach.
you'd
All
rather
I'm trying to
use
say is
spots.
let's make 3 spots where
Yeah,
people
but
can
Ashland
get
doesn't
down.
have handicap
No, I
access.
And
It's
a bigger
stairs.
project was great. I don't
Is that on
disagree.
Wilkes Swamp?
Yeah,
Little
Ashland,
one's going, yeah.
isn't it stairs down though? They
I don't
have-
know, I haven't been
remember
right, I
seeing-
haven't like physically been on it. I just see it from the other side of the lake and you can see
I
the
don't,
ice.
You're about to see a new hole in the canopy there too.
No, there's already one up there.
Oh, I know, there's gonna be another one. I didn't have anything to do with that other one though, that's a big mansion up there.
I got something to talk to you all about after, that I'm not sure if I should bring it up, and I'll leave it alone. You know I'm out next week, I'm getting my surgery Monday. I should be back for the following, well, at least by Zoom for the following meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to be able to walk here, but we'll see. Or,
So, since you're gonna be out, I was gonna put a short warrant article discussion. But for next week, so I can start preparing those things. I'd also want to, we've already got a town report dedication list. I think we should talk about that earlier, just because then we're all done. And, I've got a list started of things that happened this year for your town report article.
it's good.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have your input on whether they go in there or not. So we
Okay.
put it on the wall. I just took it off the wall and as if something happened, we'd add to it because I'm like, I'm not gonna try and sit here at the end of the year and try to figure out what mine is.
Yeah.
So,
We still don't have anything scheduled on the 9th, correct?
no.
Right.
What's the name?
Making sure.
Let me just, so sorry, there is one more.
Yeah, don't.
Go ahead.
Ingrid has asked if this board would consider holding a work session on the personnel policy, so that's all it's dedicated to. And she was asking if you could do it, where's my note? November 30th. So it would make you have to do another meeting, but it would be after Thanksgiving. And then it would just be on personnel policy. And the concern is if we can finalize it with you, then our plan, Ingrid and I are gonna go out to each department and meet with them individually, because we're not gonna get everybody together.
Yeah.
So we would meet with highway department, go over everything, answer their questions, because it becomes effective January 1st.
Okay.
So we'd like to be able to have time to do that in December, and if we can get you on board with all the changes on November 30th, that's thank you for reminding me. But I'm not gonna put one on November 9th, that's my daughter's birthday.
That's my birthday.
Is it?
What?
It's my birthday.
It's you share it with
So are
my
we
daughter.
scheduling that? We saving the date?
The 30th, yes.
Okay,
Valentine's Day babies.
November?
No,
I was
is
like,
that right?
wait a minute.
Do the math, Christine.
Is that right?
My other daughter was August.
That's all I got.
November 30th, okay. Thank you very much for that. And
You email it to
we're
Rob.
gonna try
At
very
5?
hard not to add any more meetings, because if we, at all, so.
What time do you want it?
Yeah, right.
5, 6?
5 o'clock?
Sure.
And I won't put anything else, it'll just be personnel policy, so.
Yeah, you say that now.
Just one more thing.
Might be a new TA contract.
I don't believe I have anything.
That's right, you weren't at planning board.
No.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, good move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
At 8:35 p.m.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.